I think we've all seen the statistics, but just in case, Twitter represents 150 million active accounts per day. Now, there's actually 300 million plus accounts, but about 150 million of those are active daily that produce just over 300 million updates per day, making it a very serious force to be reckoned with from a networking perspective. Now, unlike Facebook, where you're really connecting with your friends, your personal connections, even with a brand, those people who know about your brand already, Twitter's a little different. It's an open networking architecture. In other words, anybody who does updates, from an HP to a Mitch Ballantyne on Twitter, an individual, can be found through using this great tool called Twitter Search, where actually more searches are done per day than any other search interface in the world, with the exception, of course, Google. So Twitter Search is number 2. And so everyone from individuals, as we've talked about here before, to major brands like CNN are utilizing this platform to share their thoughts, to share what's happening in their business or in the marketplace, and really connect and build new relationships, as well as disseminate information. Now, what I'm going to go through with you here specifically is how to open up one of these accounts and some of the key fundamentals of Twitter. So first, we're going to start off with your full name. Now, in this particular case, because I'm starting a brand account, I'm going to call this the Socialized Academy. Then from an email perspective, you have to have a unique email address for each Twitter account. So for instance, I already have an email address, my personal email address, connected to my personal account. So I cannot use that to sign up to Twitter again for a new account. So what I've done is I've created a specific account actually at Socialized Academy just for Twitter. And then I'm going to set a password, something that ideally is difficult to get through. So forget about password 123 or your dog's name combined with your birth date or anything that can be guessed easily. Make sure this is an alphanumeric password that cannot be guessed easily through personally identifiable information. One of the reasons why is as you use Twitter more and more, you're going to use it to access and authorize other sites. Also, as you build up your brand and following, if someone is able to hack in, they can wreak havoc on your brand. So really think hard about what password you're going to choose. Okay, so what we see here is that it's chosen a name for me already, and it says Socialized Acade because Academy is too long. So from this perspective, what I'd suggest you do is find something easy to remember that maybe is a couple characters related to the last letters in your business name or something to that effect. Our personal Twitter account for our brand is Socialized Team, so I'm going to just do Socialized AC, and that is standing for a Socialized Academy. So what we're going to do here is that name is available, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create my account now. But here we go. So I'm going to get started. Next, what it's going to suggest you do is follow 5 people. So what I wouldn't suggest you do is follow some of these celebrities that they're suggesting you follow. Now, one of the reasons why is these people are never going to follow you back. Look, if you're using Twitter to follow celebrity news, that's fantastic, but I'd suggest for your business that you actually only follow people that either will be great to do business with or feed you the type of information that's going to help build your own personal capacity or knowledge. So I'm going to search for a few brands. So one of them I'm going to search for is HP here. So I'm looking for people that actually I might want to do business with, let's say. So I follow that brand. So it's going to make you follow 5 accounts. What I would do is start researching, maybe go into some client websites, some local news sites that you find information. Maybe it's a local blogger in the tech space or entertainment space, whatever it is that you find personal interest in, and kind of do a little research in advance and create a list of people you're going to follow when you open up your account. So the next thing we're going to do is going to suggest that you follow 5 more, typically well-known people. And again, I would suggest to avoid this unless using this tool to follow celebrities. In my opinion, this is one of the reasons why when people start Twitter, they start off with a bad taste in their mouth. Because the minute they join and follow a bunch of these suggested celebrities, all they see is these mundane updates from people who really don't care about them, who are not going to respond to them or interact with them in most cases. So again, what I've done is I've done a little research and I've actually built a list of some other people that I want to follow. And so once we've followed these, then we can click Next. And what it's going to suggest is going to bring you to a window here where they're going to suggest that you search through your contacts through Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, and then begin to follow and connect with all these people. One of the challenges though, and this I would suggest to skip this step initially. One of the reasons why is if you follow a bunch of these accounts, even your personal connections, but you haven't filled out your bio yet, put a photo in, and even help them identify who's actually behind this account, in many cases no one's going to follow you back. So my suggestion is to actually skip this particular step of connecting and following a bunch of accounts beyond the mandatory first 10, and then from there, once you've built your profile, built an engaging profile, then begin to reach out and begin to network. So think about it as putting your best foot forward. So what we do here is I click skip, which is kind of hidden, and we've got this blank profile. So one of the first things it's going to do is suggest to upload an image or a file of yourself, a picture, something that is recognizable. For your company, this may be your logo. For an individual or maybe a customer-facing account, it's really important, I think, that there's actually a personal profile of you and or your team. So I've actually chosen this photo here of myself doing a session. Because this is actually an account for our training program, I figured let's have a photo of myself doing training. It might be an executive photo, personal profile, or bio, but this is one I've chosen for this particular account. Then the next thing I want to do is have my bio. Now, why your bio is so important is as people search for key terms in your business or in your region, for instance, looking for new people to follow or connect with, this will help and come up in search results. And so it's important as you pick these keywords, these descriptions, that really indicates the type of business you're in and the region you work in or the particular vertical you're focused on if you want to show up in more search results. Also, when someone clicks on your profile, that's the 160 character kind of elevator pitch telling people what you do and helping them determine whether or not they're actually going to follow you. So one of the things I did is I actually pre-wrote our bio here, have it done, and then now have it under 160 characters describing what we do in our business. And so I'm going to take that now and I'm going to simply paste it into the default area. I've got 7 more characters, but I think I'm going to keep it at that. And then I click done. So once we hit that interface here and you now see your profile, if we click on it, what we see here is we've got a pretty basic profile. We've got our own personal photo. We've got no tweets yet, no followers. We're following 10 people. And if you came across this account, in many cases, it's not engaging. So we've got to think of ways to really professionalize it and really brand it from your business perspective. So one of the first things I'm going to do is, number one, confirm through the email they sent me my account. I'm going to click on the link they provide, and that has brought me to an interface where there's an account confirmation. So once that's done, then it opens up all the features. So the next step for me is to customize my personal profile. So again, it's kind of a boring update. It's got a generic background. It's got no updates here. So the first thing I do is I'm actually going to update my header image. So we're going to go here and change header, and the ideal size of this header is 1252 by 626 in size. If not, it'll prompt you to resize it and whatnot, but this is probably the best way to do it. So I'm going to change my header here, and I've already created a header for my background. And that's what I've chosen. So here we go. It could be a photo of your building, could be a picture of your office, could be something that represents technology you sell or something you're promoting, but that's what I've chosen. It's important here as well, once you do that, if you scroll down here, is to enter your location. And one of the reasons I'm going to do this is, one of the reasons I'm going to enter my location for this business is that when people do local search, there's directories like Twello.com, or even with Twitter, it'll often make suggestions of people you should follow based upon your geographic region and the things you tweet about or the other people you follow. So your location is very, very important from this perspective. And then, of course, we're going to enter our domain name for our brand. So I've entered my Socialized Academy domain name. So once I've done that, my profile looks something like this. So now it's set up a little better. It's a little bit more branded, kind of indicates that what we're doing is training from a digital space. You got some cameras in there for us. So that makes sense for my particular branding exercise. Now, one thing you'll notice here is on the both on the right and the left, there's a lot of what I'd call real estate unused. And so from this perspective, it's something if someone in a browser hits your profile, you can actually make it look a little bit more professional and even use that space because you only have 160 characters to describe what you do in your business in your profile. Sometimes what you can do on the left-hand side of the bar in particular is actually add some additional information about your business and brand it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Settings. Then I go down to Design. Now you can pick any of these themes, and some of them are, not bad looking and they're kind of interesting, but at the end of the day, 100 million other people have one of these profiles. And so if you want to show a bit more professionalism and actually put your best foot forward as a brand, you want to have a customized background. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to change my background. And what we've done is actually in here, we've actually created a background already. I'm going to save my changes. Sometimes you have to refresh your screen here. So in this particular case, I do. So I'm going to hit the refresh to see what my new brand looks like. And so this is what I've set up my account as so far. So as you can see, actually it's got a little bit on our brand, what we do, some highlights of the products and services we offer. And again, the next step, of course, is we have to start tweeting. So before I start following, getting followed back, I need to have a stream that actually has some engagement in it. So I have a look at Mitch here and I check out Mitch's profile. What we'll find is a series of interactions. So he's talking about a great article he's written, he's interacting and talking to key people in the community, he's sharing information about Facebook's latest announcement, and what he's really doing in essence is one tweet at a time. Mitch is telling his brand story to us, he's telling us what he values, he's telling us what he finds interesting, and he's curating good content for us. So if Mitch followed me in many cases because he's talking about things that I find interesting, I'd want to follow him back. And so if we compare that to this particular account, we'll see that this guy is really silent. This is someone who isn't sharing information. I'm not sure what they're about. I'm not sure their intent or why I'd even want to know them. So the next step is to start to share some interesting updates. So a tweet is a very simple thing. It's a 140 character update that again could contain links or a bunch of other updates or information. So in this particular case, I'm going to type what most people will type on their first Twitter account. So just for fun, I've tweeted here, just launched our new Twitter account for the Socialized Academy. Anyone there? Now that's a simple update. So that's our first update. Now in this particular case, kind of the humor in it, of course, is there's no one following me. So actually, there isn't anyone here whatsoever. So I've got that tweet, but at least now someone sees, hey, I'm alive. There's a bunch of other types of updates or tweets that we can do. So going back to that area, let's give a couple more examples. So another type of update could be a tip. So depending upon your marketplace, it could be a tech tip, an entertainment tip, a cooking tip, you name it. In this particular case for me, it's a social media tip because it's a social media academy I'm building an account for. So I've posted a quick tip here. And actually tips, when I get into the Twitter formula, are one of the more effective ways I've found to connect with the community and share best practices. Another type of update I can post is a link to an article, for instance. So this is a very common type of thing that's shared. So I've tweeted about a visual marketing article. What you'll notice here is this link looks kind of strange. One of the reasons why is that you only have 140 characters to share your update. And so originally with Twitter, before it pre-shrunk your links for you, people would use these shorteners. These shorteners also in many cases have embedded technology that tells the person who tweets how many clicks they've had on their links. So these little funny looking links will be something you're going to have to get used to on Twitter because everyone uses them. So I've posted that tweet, and what you'll notice here is if I clicked on the link, where it actually takes us is right through to actually an article here posted on our blog. So that's one of the types of updates that you can do.